All right, welcome back. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is for you right now. This is currently the OlimoLeague monthly finals. It's the final match, and it's a best of 7. We'll go into a little bit more details on why this is being cast and how it's being cast, etc. in a moment. But spawning here in the top right corner of the map, it is, of course, going to be MVP's very own blue Protoss player, YongHwa.
Oh, in the bottom left, as the green Terran, it's Journey.
Was that your moment of, wow, I haven't cast for a week and I forgot what to do?
No, that was a moment of I'm actually not following your camera because replays don't let me do that, so Cowder was on Journey.
Fair enough. It is worth noting, guys, you heard Zombie say it, replays. This is a replay. The reason for this is these were not properly cast. There's technical issues during the live broadcast, and sadly, Zombie and I were not available during the actual weekend to cast this. So this is new for us. We haven't seen spoiler for you guys too, but once again, I do ask very kindly, if you know anything about these matches, do not spoil them in chat for everybody else. You will be timed out. Now, the way the monthly finals work, you guys have been following the OlimoLeague. It was funded by the Patreon. It's basically paid for by the community each week for players to come and play. It's a Korean weekly tournament. And the players invited for the monthly finals were 8 of the top players who had accrued points through the previous events. So Journey, Supernova, Alicia, Crank, Emotion, YongHwa, Penguin, and Ryung were the 8 players who got here. But it's these 2 here in the finals in this best of 7. First place is a $250 prize pool. Second place, $150. So quite a bit of cash on the line. And it must be nice too, being able to play a default Korean server every single time. Because you go for StarCraft, you go to Zotex, you're usually playing the European or the North American server. Rarely do you see Korean versus Koreans on their home turf. So this should be a pretty good match, in all honesty.
Uh-oh, I just spoiled myself. Whoopsie. Damn it.
What do you like tapped out Googling like who wins this series? Like,
No, I was really interested to see, like, I don't know, like, who got, like, knocked out where and to who. So I was, like, gonna check only the non-final bracket part, but it's like such a short bracket it all appeared. Whoopsie.
Well, regardless of the outcome of the game, the score, like I said, my favorite thing is just gonna watch these guys play. I was gonna talk a little bit about it, but he built a 9th SCV, but I was gonna say in the past we've seen Journey do some really cool versus Protoss tactics on this map, specifically the 8 racks that doesn't involve Reapers but indeed a bunker instead. We've seen him place it up here multiple times in the past, and it's always really cool to see. He is gonna gas steal though. This is so not a Terran tactic, but something I feel that I would love to see more out of Terrans. With especially how incredibly important gas is to Protoss. I mean, I think honestly a refinery block is gonna draw the attention of a Protoss player much more than an engineering bay block. Maybe not nearly as effective, but definitely very annoying to deal with.
You usually don't get the chance, right? Because for the most part, they do a double gas unless they're being a little greedier.
Yeah.
So, you know, he sees an opportunity and actually takes it. That's pretty damn cool. Of course, you know, maybe that, well, probably not, but, you know, maybe that 75 minerals that goes into the engineering bay block as opposed to the gas block, you know, arguable is whether, like, the times would sync up and, like, is the Zealot already on the way? Who knows? But or which one's worth it more, I guess. But we actually have Journey doing something a little more interesting than just the, like, standard, like, 2 or 3 racks. He's actually been going for a 2 base Wood of Mine drop. We've been seeing less about, like, the 2 Wood of Mine drops and more about, like, a single Wood of Mine.
With 4 Marines or so too, yeah.
Yeah, and a couple of Hellions too in the natural.
Yeah, it is. I think once upon a time, Wood of Mines were those things you tried to get like that one God mode hit with, you know, it would kill 8 probes, you win the game type thing. Nowadays, it's more about zoning out the stalker, keeping the ramp safe, using the medevac positioning for your units. I'm loving the way that the matchups evolve. But I think one thing we've been struggling and seeing a lot of Protoss players, because do keep in mind, guys, historically in this matchup, it's been Protoss who have been kind of dominating the Terran, but that's kind of changed around recently. I don't know if this is just because of the Wood of Mine or because people start figuring out timing's better, but like it feels like stim pushes are so much harder to deal with, and we've actually been seeing some Protoss players invest more heavily into Immortals to deal with those Marauders rather than rushing out those Colossus. I don't know the style YongHwa is going to do, but I know in the past for the OlimoLeagues, we have seen him try different things, like Storm Tech with Charge, going back old school. We've seen him go for like a couple air units from time to time, but I mean, versus Journey, you gotta remember, this is a really talented Terran player. You can't play too crazy against him.
Well, we got them all prepping up. It is going to be the Hellions. So pretty much what he's going to do, right, is going to try and drop in the main. Maybe actually in between the main and the natural. I think Overgrowth... Yeah, Overgrowth definitely has that middle part where you could potentially catch the Stalkers off guard and actually kill them without being in range of the overcharge. That's kind of the sweet spot that you really, really want. But, you know, Journey, not stopping at just 3 Hellions, getting 2 more, maybe even more than that. That'd be very surprising. Ah, okay, so it goes up to 5, 6.
You know what's depressing? We all know that like Zealots are light units and Hellions are supposed to be good against light units, but Zealots are gonna be like the most durable light units in the game. It's so annoying trying to use those Hellions to buffer. Like at first you think like, okay, I got 6 Hellions, even if they're Zealots, even if they're Stalkers, not a problem, but we'll see how they fare here. He's going to target down the medevac at first. There we go. Going to try and shoot this down before the Marines unload. Trying to take a bit of an odd, like I guess, serpentine pattern. But while this goes on, Heli sneak to the natural, baits on an overcharge, heads directly towards the main. No force field on that ramp. Oh, tries to put a gateway down to block that out. That would have been sick if that had landed. But still, YongHwa actually handling this relatively well.
These last few shots.
Let's say this might get really bad really quick. Up to 11 workers killed, 14 workers killed. Marines still going ham, but the medevac picks up and it gets out of there alive. And this medevac getting out alive, I think, is more key than anything else. But 14 workers dead is not bad for that attack.
Yeah, now it's 40 SCVs to 31 probes. YongHwa gonna have to invest a lot of Chrono Boost into that. And Journey is gonna follow us with a tank. Now, we've been seeing a lot of defensive tanks, so just one tank because, you know, you don't have a lot of units right now. And in fact, Journey not even investing into a bunker just for safety. But we've seen some other players, like Maru, for instance, actually do like a follow-up push. It doesn't look like he's gonna be doing that as he does switch off that factory. And Maru's really kind of like, I think, the only Terran. Like, we have the weird Terrans, right? Which is Maru, Journey, and Supernova, I'd say. The weird, really, really good Korean
Yo, we say weird, but shouldn't we say, like, tanks? I mean, like, the tank Terrans, because they're the only ones who do that? Like...
Well, they do other weird things, right? But yeah, but, like, the tanks. So, and I feel like Maru's, like, the only one who really, like, abuses it. Because when we cast him, at least, it's, like, every game he actually did that tank thing against Protoss. And it worked out both times, but... Journey and Supernova not really. Supernova does go mech versus Protoss, so I guess there's that tank thing.
Well, while we got a bit of a calm here, we did get a donation a moment ago. Mr. Mr. Boris Makarov, my bad dude, $15 donation. Good to see you all back. Don't know if you saw my donation over the weekend, but I accidentally hit the donate button again, so here's another $15. Hashtag pancakes. Mr. Boris Makarov, you are too kind.
No.
Yo, actually, we talked about this at Toronto. We were pissed. We couldn't find a Denny's or an IHOP anywhere nearby where we were. We wanted to get pancakes and waffles and, like, eat them for you guys, but, like, there was no place to do that.
That's right. We wanted to eat them for you.
We just feel like, look, count up the donations. All right, 13 pancakes and 4 waffles.
Oh, God. Waffles ain't so bad. I can get the waffles. Those are for me, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was actually really disappointing. I really wanted, like, breakfast food.
I'm a little shocked he's going to the front like this. This will still work for taking out one of the gases, kind of like we see on Deadwing, but I was expecting the position to tank a little more northwards and go for probe kills, rather than a small amount of harass here.
That is certainly something we've seen other Terrans do, especially like in Pro League, for instance, where this is like a strat that leads into another strat, that leads into another strat, you know, they're kind of playing out the entire game like that. Basically, right? I mean, that's what that Pro League's the only like real scenario we can have that because you're able to study your opponent so much. And while Journey and YongHwa have actually been in a lot of the OlimoLeagues, I don't think they're like, okay, YongHwa's gonna go for this at 10 minutes and this at 12.
Yeah, it's not quite at that stage yet. We did have Pave. Sorry, I meant to shout that out, guys. We got a little bit hung up on the lack of IHOPs we found, but no, I definitely got Pave subbing. He's back in the family. Previous sub, resub. Glad to have you back, man.
Denied 2 medevacs from going in. YongHwa, very good defense so far. He is actually, you know, charging up on 2 base, like, all tech. So he got, you know, he's getting a couple Colossus, but he's already on a charge. He's probably going to throw down the Templar Archive soon. Looks like he's going to go for Double Forge as well. So a lot of stuff on 2 bases, which is very safe. But then you have that, you know, Journey is also feeling, he has a 3rd right now, right? Yeah. Like a 3rd. He knows that the 3rd of YongHwa isn't there and is probably never going to be there. His overgrowth's pretty hard to take it.
One of the things I'm a little concerned about here for YongHwa, normally we see Protoss players skyrocket with upgrades. Like, we got those double forges, level 2s on the way, and all these wonderful things, but I kind of feel like this is... I mean, he did favor getting Colossus out and getting multiple Colossus out rather than pumping into those upgrades, but I kind of feel like a lot of charge lots right now versus what's available in the field would be a little more effective, because as we see, Journey's cranking out a ton of Vikings at a time. These Colossus will fall, and if there's nothing to deal with the bio on the ground, like, what good are charge lots with, like, 2-1? They really need to have that level 3 armor or level 3 weapons to just shred through everything. I mean, the upgrades are on the way now, and I'm not being overly critical. It's something I would have liked to maybe seen prioritized differently.
He sees that Journey is actually getting still a lot of Widow Mines, and this is why people stopped going for charge lots at all, right?
Oh, this is where we made you make fun of Tasteless, because he doesn't know what this is, right?
Oh, pulling the boys.
You know, my favorite thing from the highlight clip was the commercial break where he's like, don't go anywhere, don't you pull those boys, we'll be back after these messages. Like the best moment for that. But all right, Journey is gonna go in hard. He's gonna go for the big fight here. Charge-Lots on those front lines. But Marauder's even flanking from the left side. The Vikings shooting directly from the front. The Colossus go down like nobody's business. Oh, Widowmine even manages to connect on this.
Jesus, those 2 Widowmines damaged like a third of YongHwa's army. What the?
GG. All right, so game number 1 will go to Journey. Definitely well played. And once again, if you're just joining us here on the cast, again, we're not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. These are replays, and the point of us casting these now is because these were not properly broadcast on the day of the actual finals. So, oh my god, guys, it's replays, but I hope you'll enjoy them with us nonetheless, because it's really talented players.